There are 3 types of Buddhas depending on the virtues that they have accumulated. The first type, Panatika Buddhas. These Buddhas are outstanding in the area of insight, but the level of faith is low. They spend 20 asankhas and 100,000 kappas in the pursuit of perfections. The second type, Sattvatika Buddhas. These Buddhas are outstanding in the area of faith, but the level of insight is moderate. They spend 40 asankhas and 100,000 kappas in the pursuit of perfections. The third type, Vivattika Buddhas. These Buddhas are outstanding in the area of endeavor, but the level of insight is lower than the other 2 categories of Buddhas. They spend 80 asankhas and 100,000 kappas in the pursuit of perfections. Every enlightened Buddha receives the deepest veneration from all living beings, even though the length of time each Buddha spends in the pursuit of perfections differ. In spite of this difference, once enlightened, every Buddha discovers the same knowledge, which has been concealed from other beings. In addition, once perfections have been cultivated to the fullest extent, every Buddha possesses all the physical features of the perfect man. Every Buddha teaches his enlightened knowledge to all living beings and establishes Buddhism in his time on earth. Every Buddha started out as an ordinary human being. What sets them apart is their unique and lofty aspirations to become enlightened as a Buddha one day in the very distant future. As Buddhas to be, or Bodhisattvas, they have spent countless existences throughout countless kappas, or earth ages, to pursue perfections to the fullest extent. The minimum period required is 20 asankhas and 100,000 kappas, as the case of our Lord Gautama Buddha. The maximum period is 80 asankhas and 100,000 kappas. Every Buddha possesses the Buddha virtue and is worthy of our deepest veneration. Every Buddha has the physical characteristics of the perfect man, and every Buddha merges as one in a perfect fit with the inner Buddha or the Dhammakaya. During a Bodhisattva's pursuit of perfections, he has undergone countless existences in all different realms of existence. Through it all, he remains steadfast to his aspiration and endeavors to accumulate as much merit as he can in every existence. His understanding of the fact that life is filled with suffering, which is caused by oneself and others, drives him on resolutely until he can eventually discover the way out of suffering. Moreover, his aspiration is such that not only is it important for him to exit the round of rebirth, he also wants to lead as many beings as possible out of suffering. We keep on talking about the word asankha and kappa, so let's explore these words in more detail. Asankha and kappas are units of time that only appear in the Lord Buddha's teaching. They are units of time comprehensible to the Buddha's insight and are used to measure the length of time it takes for a Buddha to pursue perfections to the fullest extent. Mere human intellect finds such unit of time incomprehensible. Let's take an analogy and focus on asankha first. Suppose it rains torrentially all day and all night for 3 whole years until the water level reaches the edge of the universe, which is 1,344,000 kilometers high. The total number of the raindrops contained in the rainfall is equal to 1 asankha. You may still not be able to wrap your mind around how long this time is, but if you wanted to really find out, you can count each of the raindrops. The point is, it is very long. Now, let's understand kappas. Kappas is used to measure a world cycle, the birth, the settling, and then the death of a world. Here is an analogy of a kappa. Suppose there is a stone mountain, which is 16 kilometers in width, length, and height. It is a solid monolith. A man takes the finest cloth and once every 100 years dusts the mountain. The time it will take for the mountain to be worn down to nothing is less than 1 gap. Another analogy. Take a container which is made of iron sheets, 16 kilometers wide, 16 kilometers long, and 16 kilometers high. It is filled with lettuce seeds. A man removes 1 seed from the container every 100 years. The length of time for all the seeds to be removed from the container is still shorter than that of a gap. Let's make this even more simple to understand. To make the concept of time periods easier to understand, one can picture a pie, which can be divided into 4 equal parts, or 4 asongka gaps. Each of the 4 parts contains 64 antagaps. The 4 parts are called sawata antagap, Savata Tai Antagap, Wiwata Asanka Antagap, and Wiwata Tani Asonka Gap. The entire pie is 1 gap, which contains 256 antagaps. Let's talk about the first period. This is the period in which the earth is being annihilated by fire, floods, or violent winds. It is called Savata Asonka Gap. This period lasts 64 antagaps. The second period. This period of emptiness is called Sawanta Asonka Gap. It is a period in which the earth has been totally annihilated, leaving only a great void. This period lasts 64 antagaps. The third period. This is the period when land masses begin to form and is called Wiwata Asonka Gap. It is the period in which the earth is entering the developing stage. This period lasts 64 antagaps. The fourth period. This is the period of development where living beings begin to appear. This period is called Wawata Tawe Asonka Gap. It is the period in which everything comes into existence. Trees, mountains, human beings, animals, etc. We are in this period right now. This period lasts 64 antagaps. An antagap can be defined as a time period which covers the time when the lifespan of human beings is at its longest at 1 asongkap year, and gradually decreases to the shortest lifespan of 10 years, then gradually increases back up to asongka year. This stage is called antagap and is the last period. Thus, a gap consists of 256 antagaps, and during this period, the world is created, settled, and eventually destroyed. And this cycle continues endlessly.